Good morning, Charleston, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. I'm, of course, your host, Brian Beatty. Thanks for joining me this morning. You know, here's the deal. All of us want an edge. We all want a leg up on the competition, right? We all want to know what's happening before it happens, right? We want to get that information before anybody else, whether that be a new listing that's going to hit the market before it's publicly made available, or trends within the marketplace that you can use to your advantage. All of this combined is why we've created this show. It is designed to educate and equip you with skills, knowledge, information, a way of disseminating information that makes sense, that removes the buzz and clutter and sales pitches of so many other avenues or mediums that you might listen to in this space, so that we can help provide you with a clear understanding of what's happening in the real estate market and position you to win, to give you that edge, to give you that knowledge, that insight, and to partner with people that really make sense for you and are going to bolster your position so that you can win. That's what it's all about. That's what this show is all about. I've been on this show for over 10 years at this point, helping you guys better understand this real estate market and the trends within it, and how real estate agents operate so that you are an informed, prepared consumer. A lot to talk about today. I want to talk about the market, give you guys a bit of an idea where we are. It's not necessarily all that challenging to describe. It's still very much so a seller's market, although it doesn't make sense as to why we're still a seller's market, because of the affordability issues that we've been seeing for, at this point, over a year now. Of course, nobody really wants to sell their home and jump into a mortgage that's going to have a 7% interest rate attached to it. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But I want to talk about the market, what's happening nationally, regionally, locally, how that affects us here in our little corner of the world in Charleston, South Carolina. I also want to talk about, a lot of folks are deciding to stay, right? I'm going to stay in my house. I'm not going to sell. And I'm just going to renovate. I'm going to make it work for us for the long term, or at least the foreseeable future. And there's a new study that came out that says that 1 in 10 people are getting scammed by contractors. And so I want to walk through what to watch out for. What are some red flags to watch out for? How do you prepare yourself to have that initial conversation with the contractor? How do you interview them? How do you check their references? How do you make sure they're licensed, insured, all that great stuff? What do those agreements need to look like? So we're going to go through that. And then we're just going to touch on a few other little things here and there. I want to give you a little bit of an insight into how, real estate agents and people on the other side of the transaction are behaving right now. Because that's one of the things that I think we bring to the table in this program that not many people can, which is just a large amount of transactional experience, right? I've had 1,400 transactions here locally as a real estate agent, and I provide you with that cumulative, comprehensive insight that I can then apply to each new transaction that I do, and then share with you guys what to look out for, what's happening right now, what's common. Of course, you've got the things that you can read online and then try and extrapolate what might make sense and apply that to here in Charleston, South Carolina. But I firmly believe that this show is designed and it actually works in such that you are a prepared, informed consumer if you listen to this program when it comes to your personal real estate transaction. Now, of course, we also talk about investors. I own a property management company. If you're thinking about renting out your home, we have a fantastic property manager that's extremely qualified. I'm lucky to be in business with them. We do a private money lending deal with some folks. I've got a private money lending company. I've also been an investor for a long time. So there's a lot real estate related that we can discuss and help you with. But I want to first start with let's take a brief pause from that and just talk about the market. The market is constrained by affordability, right? We had the Fed raise rates another quarter, they raised them. Mortgage rates have gone up slightly. We're at about 7%, plus or minus just a little bit, depending upon the program, depending upon your down payment, your credit score, all that great stuff. But that's the real, highlight to what's happening in the market. It's just that it is, for a large portion of our population, just unaffordable and unattainable, especially here in Charleston. Now, it kind of depends. I say that with a bit of a grain of salt because it depends. Our version of sticker shock, right? For people that have lived here for a long time and they've watched these prices grow exponentially over the past several years. I mean, some people are saying, hey, I bought a house for $250 and then, 3 years later, 4 years later, I can sell it for $450. Or I bought a house for $1 million and now it's worth 2.2. I mean, there are some massive equity gains that have occurred over the past few years in this market. But if they don't have somewhere to go, it really doesn't make sense. It's like watching your stock portfolio, right? You've got this great run that's occurred, and you're braggadocious about it a little bit, right? You're proud, you're happy, as you should be. Your money is making more money, it's growing. But just on the flip side of that, let's say that we've got this massive issue. We've got the market that tanks. The value of your stocks drops 20, 30, 40%. Nothing is realized until you cash out, right? The value of your home doesn't matter unless you're going to sell it. For a lot of people, they would sell, and they do want that cash out of their house. They just can't make sense out of moving into something else. And I want to tell you, before we get into some of these numbers, that there are some extremely creative ways of helping you accomplish this goal that most people don't think about, that most people aren't prepared to help walk you through. Things like seller financing, things like assumable mortgages, home purchase contingencies, which we've talked about on this program, other creative financing solutions. I mean, there are ways of getting you into a house and have it be more affordable than you getting just traditional financing. It's not for everybody. We'd have to ask you a lot of questions. We'd have to make sure that's the right fit for you. But if that's something you want to learn more about, I mean, my God, just arm yourself with the information and talk with somebody that actually knows what they're talking about. That's one of the beautiful things about real estate, in my opinion, is the versatility, the imagination that you can apply to create a deal that both parties can agree to, right? You can put whatever you want in a contract so long as both parties agree to it. And it's legally enforceable, I suppose. But talk with somebody that has some imagination, that has some experience in outside the box creative deal structuring, creative financing alternatives. There are ways of getting this done, is what I'm saying. And if you want to reach out to me, if you want to walk through that process with me, if you're thinking of selling, you'd like to buy, you want a head start on what's going to hit the market before it does, because that's a huge part of what we're doing and have been doing for the past few years. As inventory has been knocked down and continues to go down, I mean, new listings are down 18% across the board. This time, at this stage in the game last year, we'd put almost 16,000 listings on the market. We're under 13,000 now. And last year, we had very little homes to buy. I mean, it's tough to find the properties that really make sense for you and have it not get swarmed by a bunch of other people, most of which are moving to the area, which kind of goes back to my point a little bit ago before I went on a bit of a tangent, which is that our version of sticker shock is a lot different than their version of sticker shock for properties in Charleston, South Carolina. If you've lived here for a long time and you've seen those prices grow, a lot of you, me included at times, are like, wow, I can't believe these properties are selling for these prices. I want to go out and I want to pick up some properties. I want to make some money in real estate on the investment side. I want to flip some homes. And I'm looking at the prices that people are paying just to get a home that needs a bunch of work. And I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think a lot of people are positioning themselves for failure in real estate because they just want to do a flip. Well, if you don't buy it right, it's going to be a flop, right? You're going to lose money. This is a gamble. You got to make sure you understand and know what you're doing, or partner with somebody that does. But a lot of these folks that are moving to the area, their version of sticker shots is a lot different than ours. You know, if they lived in a 3-bed, 1.5 bath, 1,200 square foot home that they just sold for $1.2 million, and they're coming to Mount Pleasant, their version of sticker shock is a lot different than ours. You know what? The median sales price in Lower Mount Pleasant is $900,000. The average sales price is $1.3 million as of July. That's pretty crazy, right? It has grown exponentially. The median sales price, just so you know, back in 2013 was under $400,000. It's more than doubled in a 10-year period. Get you some real estate, folks. I'm telling you, the long game works really well. If you buy, hold, you rent out, you get rich slow, like so many people have. It's an excellent opportunity for you to build wealth over time. And if that's something you're interested in doing, you want to pick up some investments, but you're leery because of the pricing associated with things, with the cost of borrowing money, I'm here to tell you that we're still making investors money. And we are too on deals that we find, that we source. It's possible. You just have to be careful. You have to be selective. You have to work with somebody knowledgeable. And that applies to everything in real estate, not just the investment game, but selling a home, buying a home, having your home get rented out by somebody and managed by somebody. If that's something we can help you with, we'd love the opportunity to chat offline. My number, my cell is 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Or check us out online, listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. You can just Google the Brian Beatty team, and that'll take you to our website, give you a phone number, all that great stuff. So stick around, folks, for more of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Visit Brian Beatty's website at listingsincharleston.com. The Brian Beatty Real Estate Show continues next on the Big Talker 1250 WTMA.